Good morning, good evening, good. Yeah, it's evening. It is not morning, but it is time for Wake Up with ZRL. We have replaced our coffee with something a little stronger. That's iced tea. I would never get drunk on camera.
Mountain Dew.
We have an exciting announcement tonight. You know, we've been slowly rolling out our team principles, and if you look at this, I'm not sure where it is. It's around there somewhere. You'll notice the Alfa Romeo logo. And a lot of people are wondering who it's going to be because we haven't announced it. There's been a couple little leaks here and there. A couple people that are probably too dumb to be team principals that have been allowed to have some of that information. And so the four of us that are here now know. Most of the other team principals know. I'm excited. This is one of the guys that we talked to about potentially becoming an admin as well. And so running the Alfa Romeo team going forward, Division 3's one and only, also the man who helps co-commentate in Division 2. It's Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo, how's it going,
to the
dude?
team, sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Good to be here.
We're super excited to have you. We were all real excited when you first applied for the to be an admin, and we were all just really impressed. We've been really impressed with your professionalism in broadcasting. The fact that you're willing to step up. There's not a whole lot of people in the league that step up. There's a small amount of us that do the extra work, and so people that will that take it upon themselves to do the extra stuff. Those are the people we want to reward. And then you also stepped up, and you told us immediately what team you wanted to run. And already had the hat ready to go. I mean, this dude is on it. Alfa Romeo, you're getting a great team principal, and I think you guys are going to have a great season.
Yeah, thanks, man. You know, I noticed today I have only raced in ZRL in the Alfa Romeo. So
absolutely,
that's it.
dude.
Away, I think it's a perfect fit. I'm really excited for it. You guys have built a great community, man. I'm excited to be a part of it for more than I already am. So
hell yeah, dude. All right.
As a guy who ran in an Alfa Romeo for season 1, I mean, it's good to see it go into good hands. So
absolutely
exciting.
So one of the things we've been talking about, and you don't have to give everything away here, is so we go from engine team. So I have all the Mercedes power. Barnsley has all the Ferrari power. Duncan does something, and Adam sells vacuum cleaners. So we've done an okay job, I think, with the alliances. There's never been any team orders within Mercedes. Like, you don't have to move for McLaren or Mercedes. You don't have to do any of that. But we want to be respectful. We want to work together. So have you talked to the other team principals from Ferrari? And are you guys going to work together? Or is Alfa Romeo going to kind of be its own thing?
So I haven't engaged the other team principals yet. Part of me is waiting a little bit till they're announced. But I will say, with the Ferrari power units, between all three teams, we talk a lot.
Yeah, they do.
We talk a lot during the race. I mean, there are some instances too where we just kind of all go in one chat and we work as almost a 4-man team, 6-man team sometimes. I don't know what we're doing next season yet, but I will say that I really like that dynamic. So if it was up to me, we'd be doing something similar. But of course, my primary job is the Alfa Romeo team and to make sure we secure as many points as possible. So
absolutely.
But I do like the team dynamic.
So tell me,
That's awesome.
You've been here for a little bit. You've been a part of the Team Ferrari for a little bit. But we're welcoming on a new team principal to Ferrari. So Peter Giordano is joining on as Division 1. I don't know if you've had many interactions with him, if any at all, but do you have any thoughts about him coming on as Team Ferrari team principal, or have you guys talked at all, or what do you know coming up in the future?
I haven't talked at all. I don't know if we've spoken personally, but I mean, he's a 2-time champion. So he cares. He's got pace. I think he's going to run his team really well. And so I'm excited to see kind of what we can maybe set up together, on track, off track, joint practices. But I mean, look, he's won it twice, right? As far as I've been around. So yeah, that's a pretty good resume to me.
Not this season, though.
Womp, womp.
Sorry, I had to say it, guys. Honda's here, okay? All right, let's move on. So in Division 3, Buffalo's been a part of that, of course. We've got a little bit of a battle going on here in the Division 3 midfield. So if we take a look at what's going on in here, we've got a crazy battle going on for third place in the constructors between AlphaTauri, Mercedes, and McLaren. Let's see. Adam, I know you're going to be moving on to become a McLaren team principal next season. Currently, you're Alpine, but how do you feel about seeing where McLaren is currently?
Well, I mean, it's promising to see McLaren up there and kind of at the top of the midfield. But as of this weekend, colors don't run. We're still blue, and
Yeah.
and we're gonna try and make up that deficit to secure that 4th place.
Yeah, because if we pull this back up, Alpine is also. I'm sorry, I'm pulling up the D3 constructor or D1 constructors. I think. I'm sorry,
They're
but
211 to McLaren's 219.
211
Mercedes
to
also
219,
211.
yeah. So if we look at that, then hold on. You say Alpine? Sorry, I'll edit this part of the video.
McLaren 219, Alpine 211, and Mercedes 211. So within 8 points, all 3 of them. The last 2 to McLaren. So anything could happen. You have a McLaren DNF. By the way, Kyle Desmond will be back this week. He's been out for personal and military reasons, but he will be here for the final race. So that's exciting for McLaren. But yeah, I mean, it's anybody's game. You've got Dan Gouda came down from Division 2 into Division 3. Quality driver, had a great overtake, depending on what seat you were sitting in at the beginning of the race at the U.S. Grand Prix. And
it's debatable. It's debatable.
It was fantastic to me.
That's why you don't get a vote.
Wait, didn't he screw over a Honda driver? Wait a second.
And a Mercedes power driver.
This is shenanigans.
But also, everybody
get hairy. So all right,
everyone got a bite at that because Quishy also spawned in that instance. So basically, everybody just killed everybody. Everybody lost on that. So
yeah.
But yeah, Dan Gouda, he's gonna be there to get some extra points there for Alpine. So I mean, those 3 that are right there in the middle, that 2 of which should have been at the top and aren't, unfortunately. Fighting for 4th place there is gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Okay, moving on to the Division 3 battle. Let's go ahead and talk about the saga of I don't even know what to call it. The saga of Johannes and Sid. This has been such an up and down roller coaster. Sid has been behind most of the season, but with recent Johannes antics, I don't know what else to call it. He's opened the door. Not only opened the door, I would say he'd opened the door a couple weeks ago, but looking at where it is now, Sid's now in the lead, I think by 22 odd points. 20 even odd points. So yeah, if we pull up the driver standings right now, you guys can see Johannes is sitting at 190 points. Sid Satgare is sitting at 210 points. So there's a 20-point gap that Sid has created. What happened, first of all? And I mean, like, is this possible that Johannes can come back and pull it off? Adam, what do you think over there at Alpine?
Let's start. I want to start actually with Buffalo, because he's had a front row seat for every one of these, as he's calling the broadcast. So what are you seeing on track? Obviously, Johannes has one DNF and didn't start one race, but is Sid really just putting it to him?
Sid's been more consistent, and it seems like when Sid is inebriated, he can still bring it, and I don't know if that's the same thing with Johannes, right? But if you take that out of it, Johannes has more pace than anyone in D2, hands down. Hands down. So if he runs a clean race, I don't think it's a contest. I think essentially, I should take that back. If he runs a clean race, Sid's got to be P2.
Yeah.
To hold it off, right?
More than that,
so
actually.
I think we did the math in the Alpine camp, and I think he has to finish worse than 7th for the deficit to be covered. So yeah, I mean, Sid's gonna have to have an off night for this to happen.
He had a night and finished 10th last weekend.
Yeah.
And that was about as off as he's really had. So with that in mind, actually, the fact that you guys did the math, maybe it is in the driver's seat. Maybe the lead is healthy enough. But I think if Johannes focuses on it and puts his mind to it, I think he can win.
Yeah. Team orders, it's someone at Ferrari could always step in and just make sure to take Johannes out. Or, flip the seat. Ethan's been talking shit all week. He's been saying
a lot of it. A lot.
I will say in the fairness of sportsmanship, there are no orders from the high ups in Alpine to mess with Sid's race.
It's all ground level.
It is all ground. Whatever Ethan decides there is on him, and he'll have
plausible
to reap
deniability.
the rewards for that. So
Adam's cleaning the blood off his hands before it happens.
You got to think about it. Ethan's a little worried about moving up to D1. He might. You just don't know. And I've told him not to be vindictive in this race, but as we all know, I'm not behind the driver's seat. So ultimately, it's his decision.
I know Ethan. I don't think he'd been vindictive or anything, but I do also think that if he is by chance racing Sid side by side, I don't think he'll be giving him any extra space, and I don't think that he'll be taking it lightly on him at all. And he'll probably be holding him. Ethan has been a huge team player for Alpine all season, vocally, and Adam, I'm sure you can attest to that. But he's basically here, and his goal is to, for one, he wants to win constructors, so he's not giving up. Even though sometimes it seems like Johannes doesn't give a shit. No offense, pardon my language. Ethan's fully in this for the constructors, and he wants to win it all, and he's doing everything he can to help Johannes win it. He almost wants to pull him across the line for him, because it almost seems like with everything that's going on with Johannes, he doesn't want to win. But I don't know. Ethan, I think at the end of the day, Ethan has shown how good of a teammate he can be, and I think he's made a big case for his seat that he'll either have in D2 or D1 next season. If he's going to be a second driver or a first driver, I think that he's making a good case for himself as a teammate.
So I will tell you right now, I have had a lot of behind the scenes conversations with Johannes. It is not about this not being important or this not him not wanting to win. This dude is going right now all in on e-racing, on sim racing, and potentially looking to do some esports. He has been pinging me almost weekly, asking for advice on gear. He just got a new set of Heisingfeld Engineering Sprints, really high end pedals.
Can you spell that for me?
Yes, Heus. Hold on, let me turn my box here. HEUSINKVELD. Got it. Heisingfeld. Excuse me.
Okay.
Silly Dutch.
Yeah, they're super good pedals. I've got a set. Adam's got the next step up because he's bougie. He's got the Ultimate Pluses, and it does make a difference moving into a load cell pedal. I think Johannes is on a G29. And so it's a pretty big step up from him. He's getting a rig. He's been playing at a desk. So it's not for lack of trying. There's been a lot of distractions. He was out of the country shortly. So, I mean, it's you can obviously tell how much I respect the young man. Just, got to clean up the misses a little bit. The two DNSs are huge in a constructors championship.
Absolutely.
It's almost like he took a little bit of like a relaxed approach, thinking maybe he almost had it in the bag. I don't even know. I can't tell you what happened, but and then the relaxed approach has obviously bit him in the ass at this point. But yeah,
I think it just comes down to teenagers are going to teenage. So
you're right. And we've all been there too, so we can't act like we're innocent.
Absolutely.
I think we've kind of touched on this a little bit, but let's talk about the Alpine and Ferrari constructors fight. As I said, Ethan has been a heck of a teammate. One person we haven't talked about in the Ferrari second seat is Sleek. If we take a quick look at the D2 constructor standings, we've got Ferrari 17 points behind Alpine, which sounds like a lot, but you have to remember that our point system is a little different over here at ZRL. So 17 points isn't crazy, but it is going to mean a team effort is going to come out of have to come out of this fight. Specifically, what I'm looking at as a second driver, because I do really expect a Johannes and Sid 1-2 this week, in whatever order, which is probably going to end up in a Sid Drivers Championship. But the Constructor Championship is going to come down to a lot of what these second drivers can do. Ethan's been in a little bit of a slump. Sleek has been on and off. What do we think? What are you guys' predictions on what's going to happen with this constructors? Can Ferrari make up a 17-point gap?
Yeah, I want to give a little shout out to Sleek because I think he's shown throughout the races that he's got that top 5 pace. And we heard in the interview last week, too, after the race, that he's a team player, right? When he can put it all together on race day, he could certainly have influence at the top. So, if I'm Sid and I'm pushing for P1 or P2, and I know I got Sleek behind me, protecting, putting pressure on the drivers that I need him to put pressure on, I think I can rest easy with that. I think Sleek's had a good couple weeks, and he has the top 5 pace. So if I was to choose a teammate right now, biased, I might pick Sleek, but I definitely think he's up there.
Yeah, you think that Ferrari can make up the gap, or no? You kind of avoided the whole question, but
it will be hard because, like you said, right, Johannes and Sid is, I guess we're almost saying it's a toss-up. If Johannes goes 1, I think it's too much.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yep. I'd honestly have to agree with you. I think that it probably is too much if Johannes goes 1. But
I mean, if you look at the standings over over the course of the 9 rounds so far. Very comparable numbers between Sleek and Ethan. I mean, both have 2 DNFs, both have a podium. Sleek, I think, has 1 more podium, but I mean, at the end of the day, 12 points separate these 2 guys. So, I mean, comparably, they're very close as drivers. So, it comes down to uh, you need consistency and to get the result first, right, and then let other things play out.
Yeah.
As they will. So
and fun fact, we're in Australia this can't say that right, but Australia, Kangaroo Palace, okay, and there's a quite fast chicane here that has caused a lot of incidents in the past, and I don't know. I'm just unsure. It would suck to see a DNF from one of these number 2 drivers. I don't think it'll happen with one of the number 1 drivers. Knock on wood. I don't have any around me, but it would suck to see one of these number 2 drivers DNF due to that crazy fast chicane at Australia. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. It will be a good fight. It'll be fun to watch, and I'm excited to tune in. And I'm kind of pulling for Sid and the Ferraris to pull it out. So we'll see. But moving on.
How likely is rain?
What's
Sorry,
that?
Duncan. Before we get off that, how likely is rain in Albert Park?
That's a
It
good
could be a
question.
factor.
I don't know.
Be a factor at COTA, right? But it was.
It was. I honestly don't. I don't know how much it rains in Australia. Maybe Revis would know more about that than me. I have no clue.
According to my calculations, roughly 6.8 meters of rain per year. How would I know that? Why would that be a fact I would know?
Listen, I don't know. I know out in the middle of us.
You never know what's in those memory banks.
Dude, yeah, and you're older than I am by a significant amount, like 4 times.
Well, when I was your age, my boy, we didn't even know Australia was a country. They was still a colony.
No, but I mean,
all the prisoners and ne'er-do-wells.
I know really little about Australia, to be honest. So I mean, I know out in the middle of it all, it's all desert and uninhabited. But I think on the coast, maybe there's rain.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. No, haven't been there.
Don't know what's there.
Haven't been there.
Wildfires and more animals that will kill you.
Right.
Yes, big bugs. Moving on, we got the
big bugs
in.
Sorry.
In Division 1, we have a another crazy constructors fight going on between Alpine and Red Bull. So right now it looks like we've got a 24-point advantage to Red Bull, which is Travis Robinson and Jack Fletcher. And in Alpine, we have Peter Giordano coming to the Alpine next season and Ian Krieger. So we've got, like I said, we got that gap there. Alpine's a little bit behind. Do we foresee any changes in the constructor standings in Division 1, or do we think Red Bull will be able to close it out? Adam, I'll hand it over to you first.
Do we not have the correct stats up? Did you change something? I'm looking. I see a 7-point difference between 1 and 2.
I might be looking at the wrong stats. If that between constructors Division 1, let's check that real quick.
Yeah, 7 points separate them.
So I mean, we're talking about.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, you're really close.
We're talking about this is the true heavyweight bout, right? Like we have potentials from all 4 drivers who can win a race. So I look at it and this weekend I need another solid just a mind-blowing performance. Don't care who it comes from, either Peter or Ian. This season it seems like Ian's been a little more likely for that win, but if Peter gets on the podium, if it's a double podium, either way, it's sealed up, right? So I think that's what you shoot for. I hope that's what you're shooting for your Red Bull boys. Double podium to put all question out of it. But I'm
a little nervous about this one, man. I really am because
it's the tricky thing. It's an unknown because we don't run Albert Park really in this league. We haven't ran it much, so it's going to be a track that we don't know who really its strength. It sways towards who has the strength to. So it's Oh man, the tension, it's palpable with the unknowns and going into this week. So hoping for a double podium to just, we don't
But
have
the
to
thing
worry
is,
about it.
it shouldn't be this close, though, is the problem.
Yeah.
Because the Red Bulls have one of the rounds where they did not score points, and one of the drivers, Jack Fletcher, had a bad result. Actually, Jack had 4 bad results in a row: 5 points, 4 points, 6 points, and a DNF. But he's been on fire since then. He's been doing great. You got Ian with the DNF when his wheel came apart in Paul Ricard. You got Peter missed 2 races when he was out of town and out of the country. So you just minimal points there. Say they finish in the top 10, which is, that's going to happen almost every time. Now, we're not even having this conversation at this point. Travis Robinson's been on absolute tear. He's been doing great.
Mhm.
And I almost don't think we would even see Duncan, you sitting in P3 right now if Peter didn't miss those 2 races either.
Oh.
I mean, that's how tight this is.
Fuck off, mate.
It's 11 points. He'd have to score 5.5 points for each one of his DNSs. I'm just saying that
attendance
that's
matters,
how close
Revis.
it is at the top. It does. And that's part of it, right? You never know when Sebastian Vettel's going to get COVID, right? And now you've got Nico Hulkenberg. Well, unfortunately, we don't have a Nico Hulkenberg that can step in and be sexy for Peter. We have a bunch of weirdos in Alpine.
You're right, dude. You're right.
The guy who's sitting in a race suit in his basement resents that statement. So.
List of people I wasn't worried about offending tonight. Guy in a race suit in his basement.
Oh God.
It is a very nice race suit. In fact, while we're on the subject, why do you have it? Why is there a helmet? What do you got going on, Adam?
Well, in exactly a month today, I actually going to go get my GT350 out on the track at the new track down at the Lake of the Ozarks, Ozark International. So, and some of you guys may remember Cody from season 1. We're both taking our cars out there, and it should be a good time. Hopefully, we don't die, find Armco or anything.
Do they count lap times at those?
Not typically, because typically if you start recording lap times, it pushes people to go harder and harder, and then you're cleaning up cars and Armco barriers. So
yeah, fuck.
Yeah. So typically they don't. You can put your own timer in the car.
Will you be putting your? Will we know who's faster?
Logic timer.
Yeah.
I will figure out a way to report back to you guys who's faster around the track. How about that?
I was gonna say we need
timers screenshot.
We need answers on who's faster between you and Cody.
I actually ordered a race tech box. It's no big deal, guys.
It's gonna go out of the car into the rig and back and forth between the two.
There you go.
So another the cool thing that is really cool about this is, a lot of us have dreams or aspirations to be some sort of racer and to experience that. Adam's actually going to be driving on a track where GT World Challenge America is going to be driving in
2
May.
weekends later.
2 weekends later. So
my track day. Yep.
Cool.
The premier tier of GT3 racing in North America is going to be at the same track that Adam is going to rubber in 2 weeks early for them.
Oh,
something tells me they will be. I do have Michelin tires, so it will be the same brand, but I don't think the rubbers are quite the same.
No, I don't know, but it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice and neat to think like, man, if my life had taken a different path instead of a track day here, like I'm racing and getting paid, and you get to kind of experience that in a form.
You mean if you didn't have 10 kids and
it's not it's only 8 if you count all of them, and one of them we're not sure of.
And if your parents would have been cool enough to get you into karting when you were 6
or
years
alive,
old, that one too.
All right, don't worry. Don't worry, we'll cut that one off the stream. Shoot. No, come back to the Alpine and Red Bull title fight. I know we took a little bit of an excursion there, but Travis has been unreal all season, obviously. I don't think there's any question about it. I do fully expect him to win this race, but the shitty thing is I fully expect Alpine to get a 2-3 this race. I'm begging someone else to give us some sort of help from some sort of other team, and I don't know if it'll happen. The problem is Ian is consistently every week qualifying incredibly and putting himself in a great position. Will he choke or not? I guess it's up for debate. So he's been known to in past seasons, but he's been pretty consistent this season.
So here's a question I have for you, Duncan. Is I see you sitting in P3 in the AlphaTauri. What hat are you going to be wearing on race day? Right? You wearing the Red Bull hat? Are you gonna try to?
Shit, I was looking for my Red Bull hat, but I can't fucking find it, Buffalo. But if I had it here, it'd be on right now. There's no question, dude. I mean,
Right?
if Jack Fletcher comes up behind me, it's I'm pulling over. I'm not. Everyone knows right away. Jack Fletcher has priority over me. Red Bull's winning this constructor. I'm a huge team player. Honda comes first to me. Well, voice crack, but yeah, Honda comes first. So as far as I'm concerned, Jack Fletcher or Travis comes up behind me. I think you guys have seen this in previous weeks too on broadcasts. Actually, I've typically always moved out of the way. Red Bull comes first. When I chose myself to AlphaTauri, I assumed the spot of being of lesser importance. I'm completely dedicated to giving points to Red Bull. Cool thing about Honda though is when I draft people there, I don't tell everyone at Honda that they have to do that. That's just kind of my view on things as the team owner. But if you get drafted to, AlphaTauri or something next season, I know Oshi's he's a different animal over there. We'll work together, obviously, but just because you're an AlphaTauri doesn't mean you have to pull out of the way for Red Bull. But as a team owner, I kind of feel that responsibility. So I don't know for me, I've got not a whole lot to fight for. I mean, me and Joel have this goal in the back of our minds that we're planning on getting third place in Division 1 constructors. But I think that the Division 1 Red Bull seat would be, or Division 1 constructors for Red Bull would be a lot more important, Buffalo, to answer your question.
Because again, it's only 10 points between AlphaTauri and Mercedes right now.
It is, and that kind of does make it a struggle. Close. Yeah. I would say, I hate to put a number on it, but I would say if like Jack Fletcher were within 2 seconds of me, there's a good chance I'd be pulling over. It is what it is.
Well, what if Victor's right behind him though, and he can follow him through? That's when it gets kind of treacherous and hairy.
I know.
Got to manage your.
Well, see, Ferrari.
We can talk scenarios all night.
Buffalo, maybe.
So I want you to imagine.
Yeah, Buffalo. Maybe you can help me out this week because you're Ferrari's kind of a third party in this, where you're kind of non-importance. No offense, but I'm saying like for real, like if Ferrari can just get a couple cars in there, I don't know if we can maybe get Eric McNerney to get up there and get into a podium position. I'd be fucking thrilled. I think Travis is going to win the race. So I'd just get those Alpines out.
I know Eric is at kind of some like luck positions the past few weeks, but he's quick.
He's quick. He's very quick.
Real quick. And I mean, like in practice, we use a lot of it as advice. We use a lot of his tips on setup. He just knows what he's doing. I think Coda with the rain and the tire choices and the safety cars. I mean, I think he kind of got. Someone's just going to get screwed over by the strategy in this situation. He totally has a possibility to be top 3, top 4 there and influence the fight at the top. I think you do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm banking on it, man. So please make it happen. Ferrari guys, get in there. Let's talk about what happened last week at USA. Division 1. Holy cow, dude. I was a part of that race. It was absolutely nuts. Jeff, it was another one of his absolutely brilliant moments of not telling us what the hell is going on. Or actually, you know what? He did tell us what's going on, but I don't know if I think most of us just didn't believe Codemasters, and we didn't think that Jeff was programmed right at the time.
Yeah.
Give a little recap. So what happened was the rain was told that it was told to us that it was going to start raining lightly, it was going to get heavier, and it was going to get light again. And we just didn't really know when it was
how heavy.
Yeah, we didn't. Well, yeah, how heavy, and then we didn't know when it was going to get light again, and if we could make it through. So, 15 of the 20 drivers went through and decided to stick to the intermediate tire, banking on the fact that the rain was going to get light again, and it wasn't going to stay heavy. But
it was bad for a while.
Really bad.
Intermediate tire fell off a cliff. Just absolutely, you could just watch it, just bang, bang, bang. It was like a lap and a half, and Ian made up 11 seconds.
Yep.
I wish Ian's quick anyway, but he's on a wet tire and makes up 11 seconds. So I think it was P3 at the time on inners. Just unheard of, swap in the conditions. And then all of a sudden you saw those wets get slower and slower, and that gap started to come back the other way.
Yep. So it was like the way that I had programmed it in my head for the math guys out here. We'll try not to make this too long, but they had to make, if you chose the wet tires, you had to make 2 20-second-ish pit stops. So you're talking a net 40 seconds that you have to make up if you choose to go to those wet tires. And you have to make up that 40 seconds in however long the heavy rain is. And we don't know how long that heavy rain is. So it's a gamble, really. Well, 5 drivers, I don't have all their names right now, except for I know one of them was my teammate, Joel Garone, and ended up with his first podium of the season, first podium in a long time. Super proud of him.
Finally.
Yeah, he's deserving. He's deserving. Great driver, just been really unlucky. But what a crazy race. I don't know, Revis, have you ever had any races in your past experience that have looked like that, or do you have any experiences with those sort of races?
Not in F1, but in ACC certainly, where it's just like you're not sure what to do. You're not sure which tire is actually the best. And so even if you have other teams and teammates you're communicating with, everybody's got a different opinion of what's going to happen. Some people, it's raining in 10 minutes. Do you go ahead and start on the wets because you don't know how long that rain's going to last?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go ahead and run your 10 minutes as fast and hard as you can and then pit for the wets and, kind of figure it's like you said, it's a gamble. When we were calling the race, I honestly thought that you and Joel were splitting the strategy, and because you're ahead in the constructors, that you had convinced him to go in early for the inners and go in early for the wets because he was one of the early adopters on both. Turns out that was not the case at all. At the time when he went in for the inners, I believe he was in like P17.
Yeah.
And so it was like, his race is already compromised from our perspective at that point. Because again, we don't know what's going to happen. And to go from P17,
Mm-hmm.
first one on the inners, first one on the wets, a little bit late to get back on the inners and end up with a podium that's insane. That's crazy.
You're right.
He's the Rainmaster.
Yep. He's definitely a Rainmaster. We've given him that credit all year. He was P17, and I'll tell you what his exact words were as soon as we saw that the rain started getting heavy when the safety car was coming in to make matters crazier. I first of all, I called it out. I said, holy shit, it is pouring rain. And Joel, I said, do we go to wet tires? And Joel says, fuck it. He's P17. What's he got to lose? So he comes in, he goes in and he puts on the wet tires and he makes the driver's license from P17 to P2 in half of a race. After one lap of seeing the lap times, I have to give credit to Oji and Spanini here on my mistake. But they did tell me after one lap of seeing his lap times that I needed to come into the pits and go to wet tires. And I told them no. So I messed up.
You know what's interesting on that strategy call is I was watching the broadcast and as Revis and Frank were talking about it, I was like, how are these guys not going in for wets? That just doesn't make sense to me. But then, Duncan, you explaining it about 5 minutes ago on doing the math, saying you have to make up 40 seconds on wets. When you put it that way on paper,
yeah,
I don't want to go in either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 40 seconds is a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't know how long it's going to last, or it might be heavy for 3 laps.
Yeah. You don't
And
know.
then you lost.
Yeah, and we talk about Joel with the master strategy of swapping tires. It has to be said. I know we made a big deal on the broadcast, but has to be said going on the completely alternative strategy of making the inters last and just embracing the suck. Jason Pelter in the Haas made it work and also got a podium out of it. So
crazy, well deserved. Finally,
and that's why rain is so magical. I mean,
the great equalizer in a race.
Can't wait till they bring it to iRacing.
Oh shit!
Oh my god! I hope not, dude. No,
So
I do,
bad.
but I don't. Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, like you said, like you were saying, Buffalo. I mean, you said 11 seconds. We were calculating 6, about 6 seconds a lap difference.
Right, it was like, over the course of like a lap and a half, almost 2 laps.
Okay.
Adam, I noticed your screen was flickering. Now your camera's gone off. So
Yeah.
just so you're aware.
So
there you are.
So we were doing the 40-second math, as I was saying, and it was 6 seconds a lap. So we were like, if it stays heavy for 6 to 7 laps, we're even. Anything more than that, we're fucked. Anything less than that, we win. That was my thoughts. But the splits of the strategy kind of worked out. It wasn't planned, I'll say, Revis, but the splits of the strategy did kind of work out. I didn't get fucked too hard. I really didn't, because I was P7 at the end of the safety car, finished P9. Wasn't awful, but it could have been better, and I could have probably gotten the race win if I would have decided to make that decision like Joel did. But
good job, Lando.
As you said, Adam, rain is a great equalizer. It is fun to watch, and it does make for interesting racing. I'll say that. It was the race was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to be part of. I was a little disappointed with the result, but at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I'm really happy for my teammate, and it was really cool to see that happen for him after he's been working so hard and been screwed so many times. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Australia.
This goes much longer. I don't know if I'm gonna be driving tonight.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah. After this, I will go ahead and make a quick comment that me, Revis, and Adam,
iRacing.
me, Revis, and Adam are doing a 24-hour race this Friday. We're fucked. But yeah, we're racing the Nürburgring for 24 hours. So after this, it's currently 10:30 Eastern time, but we do plan to put in some Nürburgring practice, very serious practice with our Miller Lights and our whiskeys after this.
You sure you want to stay up? I got some messages from this morning. You were real tired.
I'm real tired always, but listen, there's some more serious business to take care of that we have to,
All right, so
priorities.
Albert Park.
Yeah, so if we talk about real quick, Albert Park, Australia, Revis.
Mediocre track.
Yeah, it is very.
I mean,
track.
it's just. Although I will say it holds a special place for me because my first F1 game was 2019, and when you start the career, that's where the season started, right? Was Australia. So that's my first track. That caused me to uninstall the game 3 times before I finally came back and decided I'm just going to stick with it. And I'm going to learn that I'm not driving Grand Theft Auto here. I can't just, I can't Need for Speed this and just smash through cars and stuff because these cars are too fragile. And finally slowed it down, and slowly started turning assists off and then realizing I'm even worse with assists off. So turn them back on and like, how do I just make a lap? I want to make a lap. And at the time I was stuck in my room for 2 weeks on COVID lockdown. And because my wife has some health issues, I stayed in the room for the entire 2 weeks. Like I would go out in the backyard and that was it. It was backyard and in the room for 2 full weeks, just playing F1, just embracing the suck.
You did not race Albert Park for 2 weeks straight.
Off and on, yeah. Because I figured if I can get this track down, they probably do this first because this is a good test track. This is if I can do this, I can master all these other tracks. You mother Codemasters, what the? Why would you start there?
I don't hate Albert Park. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Adam, what's your thoughts on Albert Park?
I like it. I like it as a track. I know people have some hate towards it, but I mean, it has more character than Russia. So,
are you talking about as a political country, or are you talking about as a track?
Track.
Well, both.
Track, Russia.
It's got a lot of Canada to it. I think.
I'm not here to make any political statements, but as a track,
fair.
Albert Park has more character than Russia. So, I like it. I think it has technical sections and some high speed sections and makes it fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think a lot of Australia, I think I would almost call beginner friendly, but then there's this one freaking chicane that they decide to go 500 miles an hour, and put the curbs there, and I don't know, I'm dead every time. So I don't know. I'm honestly not sure I'm gonna finish this race. I don't know what to say about it.
I see.
Buffalo, what do you think about this track? You've turned a lot of laps here, or no?
I unsuccessfully, yeah. I've done some time trials here.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't dislike the track, but I definitely don't like it. I like tracks where that at least have sections or even the whole lap. You can kind of get into a rhythm. And Australia is not that. I almost feel like the turns kind of sneak up on me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just never get into a good rhythm on Australia. Even if I nail a lap, it doesn't feel smooth. Right? Where on other tracks it kind of does, like Brazil feels really smooth, right? Even Coda at times can feel really smooth when you have the grip. I guess I just haven't gotten there with Australia.
I don't know if there's getting there with Australia.
Yeah, I mean, like I like Brazil, I like Jeddah, I like the smooth, quick tracks. This is just different for me.
Yeah, I have to agree, but I do think that Adam's comment on Russia was unnecessary because Russia does have character as a track, and
it's just bad character.
That I don't know. I think Ian and
I enjoy Russia. I've always enjoyed driving there. It was my first points in Zoom Racing League.
It
was at Russia. So
to me, Russia is just I just go around it. Like it's not like there's nothing that.
So does everyone else.
That's
how you complete a mile.
I don't know.
No, I mean, yeah, Russia.
Well, you have like 4 feet of elevation change throughout the entire track. I mean.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. But does Singapore have character to you?
Singapore does have character because it has a lot of. It's very technical.
I agree.
It's a very technical track. Yeah.
Isn't Russia just daytime Singapore?
No way. No way.
No.
Okay, well, all right. Well, guys, I feel like Russia is daytime Singapore. So if you agree with me, leave a comment in the section below because maybe I'm crazy, but let's.
Yes.
It's all just
Singapore
90s.
was
It's a thing.
Singapore was a really intimidating track for me. Like I think it was the end of last season we did it,
Yeah,
and I just practiced the hell out of it, and now I really like it.
just
Like
Singapore.
I
So
really enjoy
fun.
racing.
So fun.
Yeah,
Like second favorite track next to Monaco.
I mean,
Monaco's the greatest of all
could
time.
be. You could be right in the sense that it is a lot like. I mean, they draw a lot of similarities, but I think where Singapore adds the character is the walls.
No runoff.
Like,
Yeah, you don't have the
I
runoffs like at
mean,
Russia.
yeah.
it's sweaty. Singapore.
No idea. All right, we just agree to disagree. Let's go on to D3 predictions. What do we think? Oh wait, no, this is our boomer bust section. This is our favorite part
Yeah,
of the whole.
boomer bust.
Sorry, this alcohol slowing me down. Next time I'll have to do coffee. But Division 3 boomer bust. Revis, give me your booms.
Over there drinking on that Revis Light, slowing you down. I get it, bud. I get it.
Oh, I grabbed
Hell
the
yeah,
empty
brother.
can.
So Division 3. I don't even know. I don't care anymore. Buffalo is gonna win
Wow.
because that's all he's gonna be doing is turning laps between now and then. He's calling in tomorrow. Family's locked out of the room. He's just gonna be turning laps. My bust, I think I'm gonna go with Quishy. I forget what he told me earlier in the week, but basically he's not feeling this track, so I think he'll be the bust. He's got the pace and he's got the ability, but he just keeps getting himself caught in these stupid situations that he shouldn't be in. And it's not always his fault, but he's just always kind of in the mix. He's kind of become like the Revis of D3. Like I was the idiot magnet. Someone was going to hit me every race, right? And Quishy's gotten a lot of that. My boom, I'm actually going to go with OG. I think BuzzGod and Raz do something stupid, and OG ends up benefiting from that.
You know what? I hope you're right. My bus is actually going to be Raz. Just because he's been too lucky for too long, and this guy just cannot keep it up. Yeah, I don't think that Raz is a good driver at all. I think he's a crap driver. So
Well, there's a Raz win for you, Duncan.
yeah.
Made it happen.
So yeah, I think Raz will obviously be terrible as usual. And then my boom will honestly, you know who's due? I hate to say Alpine, but Marino is he is due, man. He is really
well
due.
overdue.
Because he's actually a good driver. He really is.
Mhm.
He's a good driver, but it almost like when you look at the standings over the 9 races so far, it almost looks like he's just an average driver, but he's not. I think we all know that Marino has just been, I don't even know what the word is for it, but he's better than
lack of quality results more than anything, because he's in that situation like with where Quishy, they're in there in that back in the middle 6, 7, 8 area where people are trying to launch it, just like Dan Gouda did, just like Barney did. He's usually around those guys that are trying to launch it and make spots early to try to jump out front and try to win at turn 1. And unfortunately, he gets caught in a bunch of that crap too. And it's you drop a wing at turn 1. Well, there you go. Now you're P18. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, because if he can just keep a clean first lap, I mean, I think we've said this in every other Wake Up with ZRL we've had, but if Marino could just keep a clean first lap, the possibilities are endless. Because I think he honestly is on pace with like the BuzzGods and Raz. Well,
Start from the pits this week.
Start from the pits. Buffalo, give us your boom and bust for the week, man.
So this is a tough one, boom-wise, because I almost want to take the contrarian pick and say that Raz would be the boom, because I think he's got tons of pace, and I think he's actually gotten a little bit cleaner the past few races. Remember how he started out?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't clean, right?
Yeah.
But I hate to give him any praise because now he's just going to talk about it for the next week. So I'm actually going to go with Nux, because I practiced with Nux a couple times that we do team practices. She has a lot of pace, and she had like an unfortunate spin at the end of Coda, and she was shaping up to compete for a podium. She had the fastest lap at Brazil. I think then she had two down starts, and then she did really well. What was that, France? I think she has a lot of pace. I think she puts it all together and has a great showing for Australia. I bust then. I might go with Siggy.
Okay.
I think it's kind of news from Siggy about driving, and so we'll see if he goes out with a bang or not. But he's been really consistent throughout the season. He's almost due for something different to happen, right? So we'll go with that.
Okay, cool. Adam,
I
what you
can't
think?
pick a Ferrari driver. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, of course. That'd be
Well,
bad.
I mean, I'll always get behind a St. Louis pick there. So
Yeah, there you go.
do it for the city, dog.
Yeah.
For my boom, I'm gonna say I'll even give you a podium prediction. It's gonna be Buzzgod, Raz, Dan Gouda,
Ooh. Okay.
and then in fourth, my boy Marino. He's finally gonna not quite. I guess he's not gonna get his podium this year, according to me, but super consistent and like we all agree, he's pretty much due at this point. 9 races in.
Yeah, about time. He's, Marino was the first pick, and dude, 9 races in and hasn't had a podium.
I know.
Dude.
It
No
just hasn't
podium.
worked out. But
I'm not blaming you,
3
Adam, and I'm
people
not even
in-
blaming Marino. I'm just saying shit happens, and it just feels so unlucky.
absolutely. But I mean, on the plus side, he's one of 3 drivers in D3 who has points in every race. So
Yeah.
whether that be from a DNF or not starting.
But at the same time, he's also behind Barney in the points, who hasn't even been full time in D3.
True.
Reserved until 2
And he
weeks
had a
ago.
ban.
And had a race ban.
But I will
That's
say,
crazy.
But Barney has points in all but 2 races. So I mean,
Yeah.
has more points finishes than Johannes.
And Barney has gotten lucky, and Marino's gotten
lot.
unlucky. Barney's not actually good. We all know Barney's not actually
He's
fast.
terrible.
Oh,
Just
God.
awful. He's the worst.
God.
I put him in the Aston seat so he would stop DMing me, so Raz would stop talking to me about it.
Exactly.
That's the only reason that happened. I booted Slovene and threw Barney in there so they would shut up.
Yep.
And they actually started talking more.
Yep. And Raz and Barney are best friends outside of here. They've actually hung out in real life, and they go and they play Teletubbies together outside of
Game
this.
confirm.
Yeah. So,
Perfect. So for my, did I pick a boom?
I
need a bust. I need a bust.
oh yes, you do.
Don't do it.
What?
I know what you're gonna say.
Nah, Barney.
No?
See you, buddy.
I was wrong. I'll take it though.
We just got done talking about you. You're gonna follow up that podium with a DNF. There it is.
Yo, Barney. So now that we've
No
announced,
offense.
Raz to Alpine confirmed next season. We can confirm that Barney is definitely going to be drafted by Raz. So next season it's going to be Raz and Barney running Alpine. So Alpine will be absolutely phenomenal.
Are they though? Where's the sorting table? Is Barney moving to D2?
No, he'll be D3, I guess. Yeah,
They're going to be
inseparable. Yeah, inseparable.
They will be in the same aligned stack. Let's say that.
Yeah,
it's like the two. It's
they
like the
might
two.
Be in the same division, but
they're the runts of the litter. You should have just drowned.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yo, I'm moving on from this. Raz is gonna come after us. He's gonna say that we're after him. So yeah, we can't.
You've got Raz on the sheet locked to D2 right now.
Correct. Yeah. So we did lock Raz to D2. The reason we locked him to D2 is because it's hard to explain, but basically based off team principles, I had to fit someone into Division 2.
They'll be same team, not teammates in the same division, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So interesting enough, Raz actually is sorted into Division 3 for the record, but we have bumped him up into Division 2 to make the puzzle of team principles fit better.
How the heck is he still in Division 3?
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. I felt like he was, just the math behind it. But I did feel like he was worthy of Division 2. I don't think that anyone would argue it either. So I felt like it was proper to move him up.
That and our owner keeps just chucking people in Division 1 before he sees them race for real.
Whoa, is that a shot at Will Graham?
No, I don't know who Colin Edwards is, or this Hunter J. I don't know who that is.
Who?
You sure you want him in D1?
Hunter J.
Hunter J.
I've heard
who that is.
I've heard he's a shit driver. I don't know much about him though.
Terrible, awful.
Yeah.
Another Georgia boy can just go away.
Division 2 predictions. Back to you, Revis Christ. Give us your predictions.
Blessings, my son. Let's see here. Who do I like? Nobody. So we'll start with that. Division 2. I think it's going to come down to, does Johannes show up and is he there in that headspace? And is Sid singing karaoke right before the race? There's a lot of that at play between the two of them. So let's set them to the side. And somebody that I think is going to want to, we're going to have a farewell segment here at the end, and I'll just pre-announce that I think one of the Red Bull drivers is going to want to go out with the bangiest of bangs, and I think Garrett Elder is going to be your boom this week.
Absolutely.
Your bust. I think he's too distracted. He's in another league. He's been racing. He's going back and forth between wheel and controller, and I think it's a bust this week for Ethan Patel.
Ooh, that's really tough being in the constructors battle that he's in.
Yep.
I'll follow you up with that Garrett Elder boom because this is his farewell tour and this is his last race. I actually don't know if he's been grinding this week, to be honest, but he practices at off times. I'm guessing he's been grinding. He did make the comment that this will be an unprecedented week for him and that you can expect absolutely huge things. And
DNF on turn one.
Maybe that's what you
Go
can
full
expect. I don't know what you can expect, I guess.
That would be unprecedented.
Unless you're Cole, yeah. No, I don't know. I think Garrett has a lot to he feels like he has a lot to prove. I actually don't think he has a lot to prove, but I think he feels like he has a lot to prove because I think in his head, realistically, he thinks he's as good, if not better than Johannes and Sid, and he feels like he should be just in that contest as well. And I think there's weeks, maybe not weeks, but there's definitely times where we see that he's on a competitive.
Monaco.
Sure, Monaco. Yeah, Monaco. We can see that he's on a similar level to them. But I don't think everyone else necessarily buys it. I actually do buy it. I think Garrett's great. I think he's a great racer. He's super fast. I don't know if everyone else buys it, but this week I think that he wants to go out with a bang, and it's important to him. He won't be racing for the next however so many months. We won't see him again until the next F1 game. He will be taking a season or two off before his return, and I hope and I think that he will have a great finish farewell tour, and hopefully he fucks up the whole Alpine Ferrari fight that's going on.
The bangiest of bangs.
The bangiest of bangs. Buffalo, what do you think? Who's your boom and your bust? Oh wait, did I give a bust? Let me give a bust real quick. Bust will be Cole Cummins. He'll probably shit the bed, and I hope that me saying that causes him to finally have a good race because he hasn't done shit all year. All right, Buffalo, let's move on. Buffalo, who do you think will be your boom and who'll be your bust?
Yeah, if you take Sid and Johannes out of there, my boom's going to be Sleek. He was top 5 last week. I think he's really going to influence the top. Looking forward to seeing how he changes up that battle. The bust is tough. I almost want to go with the entire Williams team because they've either just not showed up or crashed the entire season.
Did you say the Williams team?
That's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, man. Did you say
I'm
the
gonna
Williams team or the Williams meme? I didn't know if I heard that right.
Same thing.
Also, yes.
Either or.
I'm going to go outside. And I saw that Raz wants to reserve for D2. Now, I gave him props for D3. He did well in D2 last week. I don't think it continues this time. He'll be my bust.
Ooh, okay. I like that. That's actually going way outside the box, looking at a reserve driver. That's cool. Adam, who you got for your boom and bust this week?
Ooh. If he shows up, Shaggy Muffin, another podium. He'll finish with
boom.
2 podiums.
Okay, good.
Yes, for booming.
Cool.
He'll finish with 2 podiums on the year. And then for my bust, Spanini goes from podium to outside the top 10.
I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong.
I thought he was going to say Sid, honestly.
Oh no! I don't want to give any broadcaster. Notice we all stayed out of it.
I know. I was going to say we
don't
did.
give any broadcaster curse on anything that would influence that. So
that being said, I want Sid on the podium for one simple reason. Andrew and I usually sit in here and watch Division 2 race before we go to bed, and he loves when Sid is on. Because he doesn't have a lot of interaction. We're in Oklahoma, for God's sake. Doesn't have a lot of interaction with folks that are actually from India or are immigrants from India. He loves listening to Sid. He loves Sid's voice. He loves to listen to Sid talk. He's always like, his voice is so cool. I was like, I know, it's Sid. He's great, man.
Sid is awesome, dude. Dude, I like Johan. Dude, gosh dang. What sucks is I love the personalities of both these drivers.
Oh, and you're welcome, by the way.
Why?
When Johannes came to Division 3 and was going to be my teammate for Division 3, you're like, hey, one thing you got to know about Johannes, he doesn't do interviews because he gets nervous about speaking in English.
Yeah, that's
and
his
he
initial
did every podium because I told him, you have to do this.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do anything in life, you've got to do it with confidence, even when you're going to look like a fool, even when you're the face and voice of Division One and you look like a complete moron week after week after week. Just do it, dude. And now look at him. He's just absolutely blossomed in front of us.
Yeah.
And so huge shout out to him, overcoming that fear and that nervousness. We have a lot of people that English is their second or third language. And it's awesome to hear you guys talk because we don't all want to sound like the four of us right now. There's a bunch of white guys from the Midwest and wherever Buffalo's from, probably Alfa Romeo, Canada or something. I don't know. Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, and then like our pre-race show for Division One, we have Mr. Sandunga. He's from Ecuador. Speaks with an obvious accent.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's great. I think it's awesome that we don't all sound like a bunch of North American hicks.
Yeah.
Y'all.
We can say that because we are North American hicks.
Yeah, it's my people.
Yeah, no, I mean, so Sid and John, dude, everyone loves them. They're some of the favorite people in all of Zoom Racing League. So I don't know if there is an obvious winner or loser. I think everyone will be happy either way. But Sid did mention his girlfriend, who is also in our a part of the Zoom Racing League community. Yep, she is from Australia, and I think that this race is important to Sid for more than one reason, and including that. True. So, yeah, I think Sid winning this week would be a heartfelt moment all around. And I don't think Johannes, I think they're both good sports. I don't think anyone's either one of them's gonna be upset. They'll congratulate each other. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move on to our final. We got one little other segment after this, but second to final segment. Let's talk about our Div 1 predictions. Revis, give us your booms and your busts for Division 1.
I hate to do it, but I'm going to start with my bust, and it's obvious after about the last 4 races because he's changed a lot of stuff up, and Razor he went from just being absolutely on fire to missing a race, and now he's been playing with traction control on and off. He runs TC on in qualifying, TC off in the race, and I just don't think it's working for him, and so unfortunately I think he's our bust for this week. Now my boom, on the other hand, is I think maybe going to be a little shocking. I think because he's been on an upward trajectory, but they seem like outliers. But I think Damien is actually going to finish in the top 8 this week.
That's a good one, dude.
Yeah. I've been watching. His pace has been getting so much better. You just look up and all of a sudden, Damien's running in P6 right now.
He's leading the race 2 races in a row.
And that's a great pick, Revis. I like it a lot.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. Damien's been, I mean, if you look at it in the driver standings, actually, he's still sitting in P15. So I don't know. I'm gonna say he's done a little bit more than expected because he is in a Williams. So, but yeah, every week, especially in qualifying, if you look at Damien's pace where he qualifies, I don't know the exact stat, but if you check it out, I promise you that you'll be like, holy cow, Damien is actually qualifying a lot higher than I thought he was.
He's a George Russell of D1.
Yeah, I mean, racing. I'm not going to say
people didn't expect him based on where he was picked in the order.
Correct. Yeah, and I'm not going to say he's finishing bad. He's finishing in the middle back typically, but his qualifying pace is unreal, and guy's actually talented. So you're right on that. Let's talk about the booms and busts that I have. I'm going to go ahead and give my boom, and I hope this doesn't curse him, to Travis. Just close out the season clean, and I hope that that's just straightforward business as usual. For a bust, if I'm looking at it, I think that Ian has been. So here's the thing. Ian's favorite track is Imola, and when we raced at Imola, he choked, and I think that was because of the pressure that he was under. Everyone knew Ian was the Imola god. So he came to Imola and Ian didn't do anything. The pressure plus Ian hasn't always been the best combination. So I think that I'm going to go ahead and throw in Ian as my bust this week. And that will lead to Red Bull closing out the Constructors' Championship. What do you think, Buffalo?
I think my boom is someone I thought was running really well last week in the Aston Martin. I'm going to go with Lee Hall. Lee has shown a lot of pace the last few weeks. I think he puts it all together and gets a top 5 this week in Australia. For my bust, I'm trying to stay away from the Ferrari drivers. Someone who I think is a little bit better than he's been finishing recently is Tom in the McLaren. Hoping he may put it together in Albert Park, but for now, I think he's going to be my bust.
I'll go ahead and add on to that Lee Hall comment that you made. Lee Hall was picked at Aston Martin, and during our draft last season, he was one of the later picks in the draft. I want to say he was like 15th or lower. I just cannot believe it, dude. That guy is absolutely talented for sure. He's had some questionable consistency, but if he can pull it together, I don't think there's any reason he's outside of the top 5 drivers. I really don't.
At Coda, we saw him fight all the way from the back up towards the front. He goes from P19, didn't get to qualify.
Just casually, by the way. Just casually.
Yeah. It wasn't like he was shoving people off track or cutting a bunch of corners, getting 15 seconds of penalties on his way to P3. You know, he gets up to like P3, has a moment, falls back to P6. Like through no fault of his own. Things happen, right? But yeah, he's been on a tear.
Yep, absolutely. Adam, go ahead and give us your boom and bust for the week before we close this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna go opposite of Buffalo here. Tom is gonna be my boom. I think he's gonna shake the podium up, and we're gonna have to. Duncan's gonna be doing some math at 9:30 or 10:30 Eastern after the race to figure out who's the constructors champion.
Oh shit.
and
pull out my Honda notepad real quick.
There we go. And for my bust, oh man, such a tough call. I think it's Ian.
You can't pick an Alpine driver.
One race left. Heck him.
I think I'm gonna pick Jack to have a
Which
finish
Jack?
outside the top.
Whoa, which one?
Jack Fletcher.
Oh no!
Not Mr. Consistent.
Yes, sir. Outside of the top 10.
He's been kind of actually inconsistent this season, if we're gonna be real.
So sorry about you, Jack, but you know, me dooming you has only secured a double podium for Red Bull. So
I hope you're right. Well, I hope you're right about that second part, but yeah. I hope you're wrong. I really do. I hope you're absolutely wrong.
Well, I hope you're wrong about Ian. Tit for tat.
All right. Well, we need to wrap this up, right, fellas?
Yeah, let's wrap this up real quick. We do have a couple drivers who are doing their farewell tour this week. I want to make sure. Go ahead.
So yeah, we want to go ahead and say goodbye now, just in case we don't see you again or we don't see you for a while in Division 1. Eric McNerney announcing his retirement for the second time. We'll see if that is actually the case.
Brett Favre.
So we appreciate you, Logic. You've been here since the very beginning. I know you had some health issues between last season and this season. Stepped back, decided to go ahead and stick it out, and appreciate you. Got you a really good podium this year. Got to finally interview you, and really proud of everything you've provided. All of our music on the streams are made actually by Eric McNerney and PBJ. Like the two of them make all of our music. That way we can stay copyright free. So Eric, it's been great having you. Appreciate you. Salute. In Division 2, who are we losing in Division 2?
Losing Garrett.
Garrett Elder. I don't give a shit. Actually, no. We are actually losing 2 drivers and potentially 3. I don't know about the third one yet, so we'll leave that alone. But Garrett Elder's been just absolutely awesome to me since the beginning. He's been real encouraging, real helpful, friendly, funny. He's Duncan's real life friend. They work together, and so it's obviously tough. And you guys have probably had some weird conversations when he demoted. Now he's leaving. Congratulations on the baby. I hope you and Kennedy have a really healthy child that resents you for its entire life. And also the American way, yes. Also, potentially from what we're hearing, be saying goodbye to the McLaren driver of Silas, aka Mr. Friday, aka Chris Beamister. This will be his last round. Don't know if he's actually going to race this week or not. And so Division 2, Chris, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging around. You're fun from the little bit I talked to you. Unfortunately, things didn't go the way you wanted. But man, you've always got a spot here. And Division 3, never to be forgotten. Last but not the least, probably saying goodbye to Kyle Desmond. Military responsibilities. He's going to be here for this weekend. He's missed a lot this year because of that. And we always respect our guys like Kyle and Adam and Babrams, guys that do a service to their country.
Absolutely.
And in the course of those duties, have to miss the duties that they signed up for here. So we appreciate all that. And on a sad note, one of my favorite people, one of the dudes that has made Division 3 so fun and has made it so that I could step away and that I knew things would be taken care of. He did not want to be drafted by me. I know he didn't. He didn't want to be in the Mercedes. He was happy to be in an Alpine. And like, it's a little bit emotional because I feel like I'm losing a bit or something. But Siggy, dude, you have my heart forever. You have been absolutely nothing but fantastic. You've been a great driver, a great team member, a great right hand for me in Division 3. And I hope this is temporary and we hope to see you back soon. But goodbye to you, Siggy. Love you, buddy. And I'm sorry. Oh, man, I'm an idiot.
What?
Goodbye also potentially to Yuki Tsunoda
Oh,
and to Flossie. Flossen, our only Icelandic driver, has also announced that last week is his last drive with us, although he has signed up as tentative for this week. So Mr. Polar Bear Internet, they actually ride polar bears everywhere with antennas on them to get internet. It's crazy. But yeah, those guys will also be stepping in
Iceland
as well.
they do?
Yeah, that's how they get internet in Iceland. That's the only way.
I thought Iceland was green and Greenland was ice. I thought it was like flip-flop.
Yeah.
They still have polar bears. Like, do you not know how polar bears work? They drink Coke. Do you know that much at least?
Okay. Yeah,
also,
you're
potentially, right. and this reminds me. Also, Axel, another one.
Oh, you might cut out.
Potentially.
Oh, there you go.
Potentially Axel Eyes last weekend with us as well. He's been a little bit overwhelmed of late, and so he's kind of 50-50 on returning. So if he doesn't come back, again, you'll always have a spot here, Axel Eyes. I think you're a scumbag, and I'm glad I didn't draft you, but you've been here consistently through the 2 seasons as much as you could be, and so appreciate all those guys. And yeah, man, it sucks when people leave, especially when you're on good terms. When people leave in a toxic way, you're happy. But when people that you appreciate and have been part of the community, a lot of them since the beginning, it sucks, man. It really sucks.
It does.
So,
it does.
Thanks, guys.
Axel, you always have a spot at Red Bull D3 because I'll draft you for sure if you come back. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. Let's go ahead and say Revis finished his drink. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and subscribe down below. Go ahead and leave a like on the video. Leave a comment letting us know that Revis sucks, Alpine and Adam are terrible, and Buffalo is cool for now, but he'll probably diminish over time. Buffalo, finish your drink. It is 11 o'clock at night.
Chug. I mean, it's like one drink, one swallow left.
Cheers, Buffalo.
I had a kid. There's my replacement. I'm out.
No, so yeah, guys, obviously if you like this content, go ahead and leave a like. But we will be back hopefully, I don't know, it'll probably be a couple weeks before we come back with another episode of Wake Up with ZRL. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope to see you on the next episode. So have a good one. What?
Wait, before we go.
Yeah.
Buffalo. What do you call a pair of monkeys that share an Amazon account?
Primates.
Primates.
Oh!
There he is.
Got it, dude. Oh my god.